And we are back here once again with another episode of the MSK show. And this is going to be episode 35. And in this episode of the MSK show, I am going to be having a conversation with content creator Conda TV Gaming, or you just call him Conda. But what's going on, man? How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Thank you for having me here. Yeah, Conda works perfectly fine.
Awesome.
So, glad to be here, though.
Yeah, we got to get right into it. So obviously this is your first appearance on the show. So just give the rundown of your origin story for people that, they're generally interested in that, because they'll be like, man, who the hell is that guy? He was probably kind of cool, but he didn't tell me he's like a secret. Maybe he was a samurai in Japan and he taught people how to slice people up.
I would love that if people thought that about me. Unfortunately, that is not the case. I'm just a simple man that was born and raised in Maine. I was in Maine up until I graduated from high school. After that, I enlisted in the Air Force in delayed entry program. That was about in 2005. And then in October of that same year, shortly after I turned 18, I left for basic training. Stayed in basic training in San Antonio, Texas, up until 2006. And then I left I wasn't in basic training up until 2006. I was basic training and in my technical school till 2006. And then I left for Japan and was in Japan for about 3 years, which is where I deployed to Iraq from. And then from 2009 to 2016, I was stationed in Virginia, where I deployed to the UAE from. And from Virginia, I got stationed in Turkey, where I was there for 2016 to 2017, and then got stationed in 2017 here, where I am now in Georgia. At what point I deployed to Qatar for about 8 months, and then now I'm back in Georgia, as you guys can see. Obviously, I wouldn't have this kind of setup sitting in the desert somewhere in a tent, it wasn't a tent. We had a building, but it wasn't like this. So now I'm here in Georgia, where I will be settling down to spend the rest of my life with. So that's my very brief origin story, which I'd be happy to expand on if anybody ever asks.
So after that, you're like married, right? You have kids or anything?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
So how'd you meet your wife? I met my wife actually on Match.com, of all places. She's born and raised in Georgia. Just outside of Macon is where her family lives right now. So that's part of the reason why I'm settling down in Georgia. She spent pretty much her entire life in Georgia. She's been up in Kentucky and Tennessee, and then I'll say the Virgin Islands for a little bit. Her dad did a little contracted work and down in that area for a bit. But she's essentially born and raised Georgia, so I'm not going to take her away from here. I found out the hard way she absolutely despises the cold, so I'm not going to take her anywhere north where I was born and raised. So yeah.
So after that, you guys ended up. How many kids do you have? 3, 2, 1,
0. We have no kids. We've actually only been married for about 5 years. We got married
at the beginning.
I got married in 2020.
Okay.
So, yeah. 5 years, yeah. It'll be 5 years in March of 25.
Awesome.
We got married right when COVID started. And then shortly after I got married, I had to get deployed to the Middle East. So we didn't really have a whole lot of time between marriage and my deployment. Mm-hmm. And I was gone for about 8 months.
So I'll ask you this, since you've been in the military for a long time, you know how like the military is viewed now. A lot of people have a very skewed view of it. And you were in the Air Force. So when do you get claustrophobic when flying, actually?
I absolutely love flying. It's actually one of the reasons why I joined the Air Force. Originally, I wanted to join the Army, but I was at the age of 17 when I joined, and you need parental consent before the recruiter can do anything with you. So I joined the... Excuse me. Sorry.
You're fine.
I went to go join the Army because that's what I wanted to do. My dad says, there's no way I'm going to let you join the Army during our time of war until you at least talk to the Air Force. So he had me go talk to the Air Force. Because he also knew I always loved aircraft. And he was hoping that would draw me into it. Fortunately, I had really bad eyesight when I joined, so I could not be a pilot. So I'm a supply guy by trade. I basically give the mechanics the parts they need to fix the aircraft is what I normally do. So I talked to my recruiter, fell in love with it, joined the Air Force, and now here I am. Uh, so the only time I fly is when I'm flying for to go from one location to the next. But I absolutely love flying. It's one of my. The only thing I don't like about flying is going through airport security. Other than that, I absolutely love flying.
Also,
So
you don't get like freaked out in the air. You don't get freaked
mm,
out being that high up. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. So you're essentially like Tom Cruise from Top Gun.
yeah, exactly.
So
One of
okay,
my
so is this stuff in that movie real? There, can you actually do all those aerial stunts in the air? Actually,
And the second movie, yes, he was in the so he was in so that the Top Gun's about the Navy, so and he was in an
yeah.
F-18. I can't remember. I think it was an F-18 Super Hornet, if I remember correctly. And he was in the back seat, which is like the bombardier seat of the aircraft. And the pilot was in the front seat. The pilot was doing all the flying, but he was in the aircraft doing all those. Every time you saw him do the sharp turns, and even though he's not controlling the jet, he still felt the forces and the effects that a pilot would feel making those turns through there, which makes you basically like I don't know exactly the conversion, but after you reach certain G's, you're like tripling your body weight, and you just feel heavy, and it's holding you down the seat. So he definitely did all that stuff. He is a pilot because he owns his own P-51 Mustang. He flies that at the end of the movie
Yeah.
when he's flying that old looking prop plane. That is him flying. When he was in the jet, that was a Navy pilot that was flying. He was just in the back seat. They had the camera positioned so you would look the way it looked like he was the one flying the jet, but he actually went through all those stunts when he was in the jet, which is why that movie looked fantastic the way it did.
When you get out of flying, just like people say they come back from space a little bit, being out in space, does your body feel any different when you've been up that high when you step on the ground again, or do you get used
Not
to it over time?
really. Because so one of the biggest things when they're flying that high is the oxygen level. When you're up higher, there's less oxygen.
True. Yes.
Um, but they don't really feel that because they have their masks that cover that give them the oxygen they need to continue breathing. So that's the only effect that a fighter pilot or a cargo pilot or a bomber pilot would feel is a lack of oxygen. Now, the jet doesn't really serve anymore. The SR-71 is the flat. It's still classified how high it could fly, but it was the highest flying jet ever built. It basically, I want to say it's the stratosphere, which is borderline like you got the stratosphere, you got another area of the Earth's atmosphere, and then you got space. So it's like borderline in outer space. So they had to wear like modified astronaut suits to fly those jets, but those jets don't serve anymore. They've been decommissioned. I think there's only one in service, and NASA uses that for astronaut training or scientific studies. But in theory, because again, it's still classified. In theory, that's the only jet in service. We could still be using one, but the Air Force isn't talking about it anymore.
So you know how like most guys pretty much don't want to get married anymore because there's a lot of terrible women out there, and by bad I mean just like women you can't have a conversation with. They're just so egotistical, self-absorbed. How what is your best advice to give guys out there? Do you think it's good to get married in general from having done it as long as you have now?
Getting married is probably one of the best decisions I ever had. She is the polar opposite of me. I'm a very aggressive, very loud, very rambunctious guy, and she's a very calm, sweet woman, and she balances me out in those regards. I'm more, but when it comes to thinking, I'm more logical. I'm more specific to the point. If I didn't have her in my life, I would be missing those areas where I need to stop thinking in a logical manner and start thinking in an emotional manner and stop because I can come off a very harsh and brash and to the point where I can hurt people where I don't mean to hurt people. I'm just trying to say something, but it comes off different. So she corrects me in that way. She's literally the way I describe it. I don't know if anybody, if you are or anybody else that is watching is religious. It's like Adam and Eve. Eve was taking from a rib from Adam. She's literally the missing part of me that's completing me. So if you can find yourself that kind of woman or man, if you're a woman looking for a man, if you're that kind of man or woman, you want to find that person that completes the missing part of you. I'm very adventurous. I'm very outgoing, very loud, very obnoxious, very very aggressive. My wife is the opposite of all that. And because of that, my life is better and more complete because she areas that I would miss growing up. Because I mean, I was 32 when I got married to her. 2020. When am I? I'm 37 now. Yeah, I was 32 when I got married to her. So I was 32 years without something like that in my life, and my life drastically improved. Now,
Yeah.
is it perfect? You guys are gonna fight. There's gonna be stressors in your life that wasn't there before. Like she's from the South. She loves running the heat. I'm from the North. I love running the AC. We're clashing with that kind of stuff all the time.
Yeah.
But if you find that woman that understands you and gets you, or man, if you're looking for a man, and you guys can communicate your differences very well, it's the best thing that can happen to you. So you got to make sure you're finding the woman for the right reasons. And the reason why I found her, when I made my Match.com profile, I literally put all my dirty laundry out there, all the negative things that I've done in my life, all the positive things I've done in my life. I even admitted who I voted for. I told them what kind of party I'm associated to in the politics. I put all that out there because I knew if she could see that and still love me, then she's the woman for me. I didn't hide anything from her. There's parts of my past I'm not proud of. There's parts of the past I'll admit to anybody at this point, but she knows about it and she still loves me for it. That's why I know she's the right woman for me. And that's what you guys are what anybody that's still looking for their soulmate needs to do. You need to love yourself first. And I mean, this again, I just admit I'm not proud of certain things, but I still love me because I know those things I did in my past and I'm not proud of have made me who I am today. And once I accepted that, it was easier for her to fall in love with me.
So I think the thing that you brought up earlier, where you were just being yourself, I think a lot of people have to understand that most guys are going to do that because the ways that women tend to interact with each other is different from how guys interact with each other. Even girls will not understand how fully guys will interact with each other. They find it odd. And then to be fair, we find how they do things odd too. It's just now you have guys growing up where like you can't talk to them a certain way. They don't get it. They don't understand. They're all in their feelings. And I'm like, damn, I'm sure glad I don't want to grow up like that. That just fucking sucks, honestly. You know, like people say it's like the old Call of Duty Modern Warfare lobby era. Like, you can't have that now. You can't because people just get in their feelings with everything, and everything has to be like this long freaking mental health bullshit. It's like, hey, there's times in life you're gonna be sad. I'm not going to a therapist every day for me being sad. I'm not some sort of like perpetual victim. Now, obviously, if someone like you're in the military, if someone got their fucking arm blew off or they had a finger lost or they lost a leg, well, yeah, go to therapy for that because that's yeah. But I'm not gonna go to a fucking therapist because like, oh my god, I survived being sad one day. What?
Yeah. I mean, like, that is a struggle. Like so I give an example. My younger brother, he's 2 years younger than me. He actually got married before me. Unfortunately, he's divorced. And for the sake of my brother, I'm not going to get too much detail. But right now, he's up in Maine, and he's trying to find a new woman to be with. And he sees the struggle that men see today. I don't, because I've been married. I'm married now, but he sees that struggle. It's impossible. And that's the thing that what you pointed out, my wife struggles with is she's all about the feelings, getting in touch with your emotions, talking that through. I'm not. Like she has told me time and time again, stop trying to fix it. I just want to vent. But as a man, and as most men, like real men, and I don't mean that as in real men, we understand that if you hear a problem, you fix the problem.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
You don't put up with it anymore. You don't just suffer with it. I don't, for example, so this week, my car broke down. I had a dead battery and something else broke in it. I didn't go searching for somebody to vent to or cry to or whine about to. I just told my wife, hey, I'm about to drop $400 in my car. This sucks. I hate it. And then I went into the parts store, picked up the stuff. And then I fixed the car literally in the parking lot of the parts store because as a man, I knew there was a problem. I needed to fix the problem. You got to find a woman that understands that when she comes to you, you're going to want to try to fix it. And she knows that now. She knows that. And she knows that if she wants something fixed, she comes to me. If she just wants to vent and get her emotions out, she goes to her best friend or her mom. that's where she goes. And I'll still listen to her. I've done better
Oh
at
yeah,
being
yeah,
like, better at like, well, babe, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that, and that's all I'll say. But
yeah.
she knows if she never wants a solution. I'm not saying she doesn't. Not saying she doesn't want a solution, but she knows that if she doesn't want somebody constantly trying to fix it, she'll go to her wife or her best, or sorry, her
Yeah.
wife, or her mom or her best friend, and then she'll come to me when she wants something fixed.
Yeah, I think for guys, because most guys generally tend to mess up with that. Girls will start venting to them, and they're trying to fix it. I don't even think girls want you to fix it. I don't think most do. I think they just want you to hear them out and kind
Yeah,
of validate them for hearing what happened to them. I always do like this is what I always done growing up. I just go, hey, okay, so that I understand what you're saying. How can we fix this? Because there's no point in dwelling on this. We got what can we do to fix it? And I find that often gives a better like, oh, he understood me. Now he's trying to come to another conclusion about how we can fix it, because a lot of people don't do that. They just kind of sweep things under the rug. And it's like, well, if it's nothing that bad, what's the problem with fixing it? It's not life or death. You can just, it's not a problem at
yeah,
all to fix it. Some things aren't even that bad, honestly. Like some girls, they don't really understand interactions all that much. They take interaction on a more emotional level because girls are just emotional in general. And I try to
yeah.
tell certain women, like, it probably wasn't even as bad as you're making out to be. The person probably just had a bad day. It shit happens, and they're like, well, fuck him. But you're like, okay, I gotta understand. People just flip out on things, and I don't think most women understand. Each interaction is so different from other ones. Like not everything is based off of like someone hates you because of your fucking race or something.
Yeah.
Sometimes people just legitimately have a bad day and they just fly out the handle. Honestly,
And that
don't look at this guy. All of these is a clout chaser. Michael's he's going crazy.
he wants me to help you find a woman. Is that
I
what
have
he's
enough
trying to say?
women. I have enough women, as you know. I'm good. Too many women.
So,
But
so Michael, the thing I need to do is help him find a good woman. He's
oh
found
shit.
women. Yeah, I need to help him find a good woman.
All I attract now is older white women who are like 40 years old. I guess that's just my dating pool now. But always, girls do this other thing. Well, they'll come in and they'll just start yelling at people. And I'm like, hey,
Mhm.
if I was in that position, would you want me to yell at you like that? And they're like, no. Well, then, hey, like self-awareness. Don't just come and start yelling at people. A lot of
Yeah,
girls do that. And they're like, well, I don't know why this guy gave me that bad response, because you came in like a fucking frantic monkey. No one wants to listen to
and
that, you know?
and again, there's a reason why I keep saying a real man. A real man, when somebody comes at you like that, they're gonna respond and say they're gonna say something you don't want to hear because they're gonna try to shut you down as quickly as possible
Oh, for
because they
sure.
don't want
Yeah.
to listen to you yell at them anymore. And that's the way. That's what my wife struggles with me a lot. Somebody will say something to me or do something to me, and I'll straight out say something to her. Then she goes, well, babe, why'd you say that? I said it because I want it to stop. And the only way I can get them to stop is straight up tell them why I have a problem with them. Like you said, women sometimes, most of the time, women struggle with that. The only time I've seen an exception that are women that have been in the Marines or been in the infantry in the army because they're basically surrounded by men all the time. So they
Yeah.
basically come up, they pick up the person. I'm not saying they're becoming men,
They
but
absorb a lot of men traits. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, they pick up understanding of men. They understand like I'm not going to put up with your bullshit today. I'm going to call you out on it. I'm going to put you in your place, and we're going to move on from this. If you still have a problem, go find somebody else to talk to, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. So after Army or Air Force, because people don't like the prefaces, there's Army, it's military, there's the Army, there's the Air Force, and there's
I
Marines,
don't
there's
dig
Coast Guard.
ditches for a living.
So after being in the Air Force, moving around the world, obviously getting married, how did you start getting into content creation? Like, what was your inspiration for that?
So the very first day I got into content creation, that was when the Xbox One, the original Xbox One, not what we got now. The Xbox One came out. What was once Justin TV became Twitch TV, and then they added the app to the Xbox to allow you to be able to stream. I was like, well, this is interesting. Let me start streaming from my Xbox. There was no camera because there's no way to do that back then. There's no capture cards. There's nothing like that back then. Because I'm old as fuck. I'm sorry, guys. I'm very old. But back then we didn't have capture cards. We didn't. The microphone I had was the microphone on my headset from my Xbox. That's what everybody was listening to. And I was
Headsets were
playing
so
Wolfenstein.
bad back then. Holy crap, they were
Yes, it was.
trash. Yeah.
Absolutely was. So you guys can understand the sound quality was coming from my headset while I was streaming this. So I've been streaming that was like 10 years ago when I started streaming. I was like, you know what, I can do this. I love playing video games. I was single at the time, so I would come home from work, get some dinner. I would go to the gym, and then I would come home and play video games with my buddies, have a few drinks, and we would joke around, have a good time, have some fun. I was like, well, I do this, why not just stream? I heard about guys making a little bit of money from it, so let's do this. And one of the first games I played was Wolfenstein New wasn't I think it was New World Order. I think it was what the game was called. And one of my biggest audiences, ironically enough, were Germans from Germany. They were watching me play this game. The reason why they watched me is the game is censored in Germany because Germany does not, contrary to popular belief, Germany does not like the fact they had Nazis. So they would remove anything that would refer to Nazis from the game. So the swastika, the word Nazi, all that was removed for the German version of that game. So they were watching me play it because they knew in the US we still had the swastika. We still called the soldiers Nazis. We still treated them as Nazis. So they're like, we want to see what I mean, granted, Wolfenstein is not actual history. It's like a modern take on history. It's because it's got like the cyberpunk, steampunk kind of aspect, not cyberpunk, more of a steampunk kind of aspect to the game, if you will. But and the American version still treated the Germans we were fighting as Nazis, and these Germans were sick. And it's actually kind of foreshadowing for what we're going through right now, with us trying to rewrite history with the Civil War, slavery, and all that.
Yeah. So you're a person that's mostly on Rumble because you're on Rumble, Truth Social, and Twitter and Instagram, I think, actually.
So I'm on Rumble, True Social, Instagram. I do have a Facebook page. I do have a Pinterest and Locals. So those are my socials. I do stream on right now. So right now I'm doing a little test. Rumble is my main platform because I know a person like me will be banned from the other platforms in a heartbeat when the right person finally sees my content.
So
but
no YouTube.
Right now, yeah. No, I do stream on YouTube. I do as of right now. So starting October 1st, I've been streaming on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, X, and Rumble.
Wow.
Those are the platforms I've been streaming on. There's a couple reasons why I'm doing it. One, I'm going to see if I can get myself banned. I'm not intentionally saying things on purpose. I'm just being me. So I'm not intentionally saying the N word with hard R. I'm just being myself, and I'm going to see if that gets me banned from those platforms. The second reason why I'm doing that right now is a lot of people are complaining about the growth in Rumble, which I'm not denying is the growth in Rumble is slow.
We'll go over that later. Yeah. That's what I want to talk to you about. Yeah.
Yeah. The growth on Rumble is a little slow. So the reason why I've been streaming, so October 27th, I'm planning to do a podcast style stream. I have a spreadsheet built showing the viewership differences, the follower growth differences between each platform. And I'm going to show like, all right, so this is how well I'm doing on Rumble. This is how well I'm doing on YouTube. This is how well I'm doing Twitch, Kick, and X. Well, X, the followers on X don't really count because just making a post on X is going to get you a follower.
Yeah.
But I do stream on X sometimes too. So
yeah, I currently can't, as you know, because I updated my bio and then it didn't allow me to stream more. They said it should take, no one gave me anything. I just updated my bio information and I just wasn't able to stream to Twitch, not Twitch, X anymore. So I just put the other platform that stream is on Twitch, because for Twitch, I only wanted to stream like my League of Legends gameplay and other video games. Actually, I didn't want to stream games on X because I just found that not needed, and I don't think it's really just the place for that. So,
well, so I don't know if you knew, Elon made it so you cannot stream on X unless you pay for premium. So if you're not paying, you do pay for premium. They just won't let you do it right now.
Yeah, I used to be able to stream all the time. We had a ton of, and this thing is, you know what's weird about X streaming is the people said I get a lot of viewers. I don't know, are those real people or those bots? I have no clue, because we've known there's can be some bot shenanigans on X. You know, the number could be like 100 views on X, and it's crazy. And people like I've never had 100 people watch a podcast I did on YouTube in my entire life, honestly. But if you're having 100 viewers on this, you're like, oh my god, I just want to stream here. But there's not more of an incentive to stream on X though. It's the layout is horrible. The only real reason to do it is because people go to X for news and everything. And if their favorite content creator is on there, you'll be seeing their live stream there first. You'd be more inclined to watch there first. I get the practical, like instant gratifications of doing it, but it's just like, I hate watching live streams through that. If someone's live on X, I'll be like, okay, so they're probably just going to be live on YouTube. I'll just go watch on YouTube, actually, you know?
That's what I do too. There's a couple creators I follow. I'll see them live on X. I'll be like, oh, so like you said, they're live on YouTube, they're live on Rumble, they're live on Twitch. Or I'm gonna be honest. I don't watch anyone on Kick. I don't take Kick seriously at all.
There's like one or two people that I do it for, and one of the girls I met in real life, and I'll watch her just because I know her. And then Kino Casino. Those are the people I generally watch on Kick. But to be fair, I don't really watch their stuff on Kick live. I watch Kino
their
Casino.
VODs.
Yeah. So Kick, I don't know. That's a platform where, like I said before, it feels just such like a Twitch ripoff, honestly. It is.
I don't know if you know about Twitch or Kick. Twitch literally paid the team at Amazon that built Twitch or has Twitch. They didn't build Twitch, but that owns Twitch and they maintain Twitch now. They literally paid that team to build Kick. That's why it is a Twitch ripoff. It is essentially Twitch, a dummy Twitch. In a green format, because Kick the company that owns Kick is a gambling company. That's where all their money's from. That's why they're able to dump money into Aiden Ross. That's why they're able to buy all these high streamers. They're trying to get Dr. Disrespect.
Ooh, that is not good. Like that situation is so weird because a lot of people don't even understand the person they're even trying to somewhat defend. Because if that person was a Joe Biden supporter, which I don't even think exists, but you know, media manufactured bullshit.
Yeah, I know what you're trying to say.
That person was a Kamala Harris supporter. That person would be eviscerated by people that would be like considered on the right, conservative, centrist, whatever. And this guy blatantly admitted to inappropriately messaging a minor. And yes, under legal circumstances, he didn't do the other extreme stuff that would get you thrown in jail. But that is still just morally horrible. You know, and people have said, well, we don't. So people kept saying the girl's age. First of all, that's never been true. We don't know the person's age. Everyone just made up that she was 17. We don't know if she was 17. That's not true. That's just made up completely. And he admitted to doing it. Then on the same day, edited his tweet constantly. So, and then he went on and said, well, I was just baiting people. Why not just say you didn't do it up front if you actually didn't do anything wrong? Because it's not more like he's going to go to jail for it, but there's some moralistic reason why he wouldn't really say what he did. And people say, oh, you don't know. Inappropriate can be defined as anything. Even if that's true, which that doesn't make it, first of all, that does not make it right. Second of all, you shouldn't be talking to a kid that way anyway, or a younger person. Like at that point, he was already, 40 years old, right? So it's just one of those things where what possible inappropriate thing could you be saying to that person? You know, it's just so weird. Like at that point, I'd be like, oh, okay, man, that's just crossing too many lines. I can't believe the people that even defended him. He blatantly admitted to what he did. And then people were like, but he didn't really mean that. It's like, then why say it in the first place?
A lot of people forgot he's the same guy that cheated on his wife and then got caught cheating on his wife.
Yeah.
So he's not a guy of high moral standing. And if he admittedly talked to this underage girl, I don't even know if it's a girl. We just know it was an underage person. I don't know if it's a girl or a boy. I'm gonna lean towards girl because he seems like the ladies' man kind of guy. I don't see him as somebody that's gonna chase boys or men. But who knows? These days he might be into both. Who knows?
I just can't believe people were like, oh, but we should have waited till more information came out. He put out the information for people. And then what made it even worse is that he deleted that tweet. The one entirety long thread he had. He deleted the entire thing. So people, if he's not guilty, then why even delete it then?
Not guilty. Or highly edit the one he still has up. Yeah.
Multiple times. He was doing it in real time.
Yeah.
God.
he made it look worse for him. And so when the initial news dropped by the Twitch staff member that leaked it, I don't think he leaked it. He did it on purpose. He's trying to. What disgusted me first?
Yeah.
Yeah. What disgusted me first about that person? He was trying to sell tickets to something.
Yeah. Yeah.
That guy's just as disgusting as Dr. Disrespect is at this point. Because if Dr. Disrespect did do anything seriously harmful to this minor, this person just tried to profit off that. That's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. I have no respect.
And then to tackle onto your point, then they try to act like they were the moral high ground. That's even worse.
Yeah.
They try to act
because
like, I didn't mean to do it. Fuck off.
He meant to do it. He knew exactly.
Yeah.
What was the post? Was if I sell X amount of tickets, I will release the chat logs to. Yeah. That's what it was. Yeah. Disgusting. The guy's absolute trash, in my opinion. Dr. Disrespect is trash for doing it in the first place. Even if he didn't physically do anything with this minor, he's still disgusting, especially because he admitted, like you said, that he knew this person was a minor. The only time I said I'm gonna wait for additional information to come out was when the person from Twitch made the post. I was like, I'm not gonna trust this person from Twitch. They're clearly doing it to sell tickets. And then the moment when Dr. Disrespect said, I did have inappropriate conversations with this minor, I was like, all right, that's all I needed to hear. And that was it for me. I wasn't defending him anymore. Now, there are the people from, what does he call his community? I can't remember what they call it. The champion. Champion something. Mm-hmm. They came out in full force to defend him. Unfortunately, I'm also part of, or was, no fault of them. I left on my own accord. They didn't do anything to make me want to leave. A gaming organization that's full of active duty military veterans, called Regiment GG. They did a sponsorship with him before all this happened. They did a sponsorship with him, and where they sent him a jersey, they sent him a bunch of swag. They asked him to kind of promote them. Unfortunately, shortly after that, this all came out, and a lot of regiment guys, like, they definitely were in shock to, like, this can't be. I'm like, guys, we got to take this L on this one. This is not I actually left regiment before all this happened. So I don't want anybody to think I left regiment because of this. The regiment staff themselves distanced themselves from Dr. Disrespect, but there was members in the regiment that were like, this can't be, this isn't right. There's more to the story. We don't know the whole story. And I was like, guys, he admitted he talked inappropriately to this minor.
Yeah, and then the thing that people truly are not grasping, because people I don't even think are that stupid. They're just doing it for a person on a side that they wouldn't have these kind of things for on the other side. Like if this person was not even just a leftist, just a person that they would deem like some like woke retard or an activist person, they wouldn't have given this person this much benefit of the doubt. Because if I heard, like, just say if you're a parent, right? And you heard that this person was talking to your kid as an older person inappropriately, but he didn't like touch this person. Okay, you're not gonna go to jail for that. But how in our minds, when I think of inappropriate, I'm like, okay, when you say you're talking inappropriate to someone, how do you define that? And to be fair, since this just came out, I doubt he said, like, because what comments would he even want to be thinking about to say these things? That's just weird and disgusting in general, you know? Yeah. Like Chris Tyson, it's the same thing. Like nobody
I was about to bring that up.
Yeah, nobody gave Chris Tyson benefit. Yeah, proven he's just a straight up disgusting weirdo. It's just like that, you know?
Well, nobody on the right gave him the benefit of the doubt. Mr. Beast is still as far as I know, Mr. Beast is still defending him, and there's some people on the left side of things that are kind of defending him. But
on the pronoun thing, they do it. Well, you got to call him by the correct pronouns. And no, I don't. I don't know that motherfucker from a hole in the wall. And turns out what I did know about him, I don't want to know any more about him.
After that came out, you don't want to know anything else.
He had a Twitter account that was suspended that I went over in my video. It's an hour-long video for him to watch. Where that Twitter account, he said, I can't wait to get hard from cranking up some lolly. He said disgusting things about 4-year-old girls. Now, I'm not repeating that on stream because I'm not getting clipped out. But that account is not fake. People said, how can you tell the account's not fake? You type in the account name on Twitter, the account's suspended. It was real.
Yep, it's not.
Yeah,
because he's
a terrible person.
And Elon Musk is cracking down on that kind of thing. I mean, you can love or hate Elon for whatever reason you get, but It's not perfect. That stuff is still squeaking by on Twitter, but he's actually doing something. Whereas the people before him, they didn't seem to care. They
Yeah.
just let it all happen.
Mhm. So the other thing when it comes to like gaming now, because I'm pretty sure you've seen all the gaming controversies and everything. Where to even start? Let's start with the recent one of you pronounce it Ubisoft or Ubisoft? Most people
Ubisoft. I say Ubisoft, but I don't care either way.
Ubisoft tried to make a new Assassin's Creed game. Has been delayed to 2025. And come to find out, recently, they're probably potentially selling off their company to Tencent, who owns Riot Games, Epic Games, which is obviously partnered with Fortnite and everything. It's crazy because this company also released Star Wars Outlaw, and that game barely or underperformed by selling under 1 million units or over 1 million units. And it's crazy to think that if they're selling games and it's not making any profit for them, you would think that they would want to make games that people want to buy. Their CEOs coming out and saying, well, gamers want exceptional quality. It has to be like a masterpiece level. No one's fine with solid quality. First of all, that's a crock of shit. People these days barely put out solid quality. Solid quality is asking for like the holy grail these days. We don't get solid quality mostly anything anymore. That's not solid. Used to be a decent. I expect that. We're not
people waiting in line at GameStop to get that game. That's what a solid quality was. That's what that was. That doesn't happen anymore. Nobody cares about midnight releases anymore because there's nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, that was my, I won't say my childhood, my young adulthood. I would go to midnight releases for the games I was super excited for. I haven't done that. And it's not because I'm old and don't want to do it. If there was a game I was that excited about, I would do it again in a heartbeat. But there hasn't been a game like that. And like you said, in a long time, nobody does anything.
Did it for was Smash Brothers Ultimate. What was the last one you did it for?
It was one of the Gears of War. I want to say Gears of War 3, maybe.
God.
It was. Hold on, let me see. I got because I bought the higher version of this. It doesn't say. I don't remember. It was whatever Gears of War came with.
That's awesome.
You bought the game, you got the statue, you got a flag, you got a cog, and then you got the game with a book. So that's the last time I think I did a midnight release. I paid for this. I got the Marcus Phoenix statue. This was either Gears 2 or Gears 3. I don't remember. My friend, he got the I can't remember what these are called anymore. That's how long it's been. He bought a full-scale replica of this with his game when he went. So
you used to actually get like exclusive shit for pre-ordering games or a lot of stuff. Yeah. Now when you pre-order, it's like you get it's like the thing they do in Overwatch or League. They do it by tiers, like gold, diamond, platinum packs, which is just basically just more digital content. But people wanted to pre-order content or video games because you got something physical. Like I was the one that invested into this first. Yeah. They don't. It's not that anymore. You get buggy bullshit release games. The Star Wars Outlaw recent one. People played the game and they was so buggy to the point where people had to restart over their process. Imagine if you beat the entire game in a single day. You had to restart it over again.
Because it was broken. Yeah.
Broken, buggy mess of games releasing. Now it's just a bunch of microtransactions and DLCs. Like people are DLCs back in the day. I didn't have that. DLCs are still kind of new to me relatively because I remember when you got a game and you just played it enough, you just unlocked more shit secretly in the games, Now it's like, oh, the game's out. Oh, 5 months later, DLC for like $20. And then they'll just release a Game of the Year edition for it, and it'll have the DLCs on there anyway. So if you just waited, you just would get them all at once. It's like, I fucking hate games sometimes. I love gaming. I really do. But goddamn, but like they're making it really hard to be a gamer these days.
Absolutely. And they're not even making it hard to be a gamer. They're making it hard to enjoy like the excitement of game. You wouldn't get wrapped up in you hardly get wrapped up in the lore of games anymore. You hardly get wrapped up in the story. It's very rare. I know the Japanese games tend to do better with the story and the lore and stuff like that. But like the AAA games from EA, the AAA games from Epic, Microsoft, none of them have that ability anymore. The only reason why Fortnite's so successful is the stupid collabs they do where the people dump thousands of dollars in to hopefully get that secret skin, or not the secret skin, but the featured skin for that season. It's and I mean there's a couple skins I got super excited about, and not Fortnite specifically, but games in general. But I was all about physical stuff. Yeah, this it's two of my three dogs. This is
Three dogs.
Zeus. Yeah, we got three. Bella, come here. No. So the closest one to me is Zeus,
Uh-huh.
the one you mainly see his butt from, and then the one behind him is Bella, and then we have a third one called Ed.
No cats or any other animals, just dogs.
Just dogs. Yeah. We might be getting chickens in spring, but that's the
Chickens.
only
Oh
other.
my
Yeah.
god.
We're gonna get.
Are they like aggressive? They're not gonna attack the chickens, are they?
So we have a fence yard. I'm gonna build a separate area for the chickens so the dogs, because the Zeus, he will definitely try to kill the chicken.
Uh,
He's a hunting dog. He likes to hunt things. Bella, she might bark at him. I don't think she would do anything to hurt them, but she'll bark at him and get in their face and stuff. But Zeus would definitely try to take it down.
so you definitely have everything a guy would ask for. You have a wife, you have a house, you have dogs, you have a white picket fence. So you actually are living the American dream. So you could say confidently the American dream is alive and real.
It's harder to work for, but yes, it is. It is live and real. It still exists. You just got to work for it. A lot harder than you should have to work for it.
And not vote for Kamala Harris. Don't do that. That's how you won't
Yeah.
get the American dream.
No, if you guys want it, if you want the communistic dream, vote for Kamala.
Yeah.
If you want the American dream, Trump is not perfect by any means, but if you want to go somewhere with your life, you want to be able to. My wife jokes around with her friends, all her friends about her same age. They're all still in apartments or rental. We own this house. Then nobody else can say that anymore because the housing market suck. I bought this house. So when I was stationed in Turkey, and I found out I was coming to Georgia, I was like, look, I've lived in military housing for my entire life. I'm sick of sharing property with other people. I'm sick of being in apartments. When I get to Georgia, I'm going to buy a house. This is a 1,600 square foot house. For the finished portion, I have a basement, I have a garage, I have almost 2 acres of land. I got it for $145,000. At the time, I really didn't have the money for it, but it's like I will eat ramen for a year if it means I can get this house. And that's what I did. I ate the bare minimum. I didn't do anything fancy. I didn't go out. I didn't go on trips. And I got this house. I can't imagine what it would be like today. My house is worth almost $300,000 now. And that's without any improvements. It's actually with it degrading, and it's worth $300,000. So I can't imagine what it would be like for somebody who doesn't own a home yet to try to find a home. So the American dream is still there. It's going to take a hell of a lot more work to get it, though.
And the people from the generation beforehand, where they were like, just grow up and save money and buy a house. Well, yeah, that sounds great in theory and sounds awesome from like an anime hero dream perspective, but that's way harder to do now. It's because, well, jobs are hard to come by for a lot of people. You go to college, well, that's bullshit of a scam in and of itself. You're in debt.
Yep.
When you do find a job, you have to get to live. You still paying out student loans. It's just so much more bullshit that's happened now compared to what it was before. Because of all the housing market stuff, I did finally look into it. It's pretty bad. It's awful bad.
My sister, she's the youngest in my family, and she's younger than me by 7 years. It took her almost a year to finally find the house she paid and she bought, and the house she bought, she's paying more than she ever wanted to pay for. But she really wanted a house, and that's the only way they can get it. So, and that was during the height of COVID too. So the housing market was absolute trash during COVID. And like you said, it's just my advice to anybody young that hasn't set up a career for themselves. If you want to go to school, go to trade school, learn yourself a trade. If you want to learn coding, go to a school that's going to teach you coding. If you want to learn engineering, go to school. Those two things aren't really trade school. You go to college for those, but don't go to these big fancy Ivy League schools. Go to a school that's going to teach you what you need to do to succeed in the career, and pick that one. Don't worry about the frat houses. Don't worry about the sports programs. Don't worry, unless you're going to get into sports. If you're looking to be a football player, basketball player, baseball player, look for those schools. But if you're going for an engineering degree, if you're going for a coding degree, or I don't know what the exact term is, but a degree in coding, you want to look for schools that are going to set you up for success in that career. So that way you're paying as little money as you need to pay to get the degree you want. If you're looking into plumbing, electrical, construction, go to a trade school. Mechanics, go to a trade school. Don't go to college. Go to a school that you don't have to pay as much for. That's going to give you the skills you need, the experience you need. So when you get out of that school, you're going to have that experience, and you're going to get picked up by big companies, and you're going to be paid really well for little money that you put into that school. And you're not going to have nearly as much debt as somebody that went to an Ivy League school.
The other thing I'll ask you is Rumble, because Rumble has been a topic of conversation recently because people that are on there have been making videos talking about like growth of the platform and everything. I remember there was a recent guy talking about the gaming side of it. I forgot his name, but I remember he did a video. Yeah, he did a video outside of a Lowe's parking lot, and I was like, okay, just make content outside of a parking lot now, I guess. He was talking about all the problems that goes along with the gaming side of Rumble. I do think Rumble's doing a lot of good stuff. I put out content on there since I lost my main YouTube channel. So my previous YouTube channel, it was really big. I lost it due to hate speech, which is bullshit. So I ended up rebranding this second channel to my main one. Then I have other ones now that I'm working on for my other interest. And so Rumble was the place I put out my other podcast for a little bit before I rebooted it to this one where I could have it instinctive on both. And people got to factor in Rumble is going to grow. It's just going to grow, obviously, in a slower fashion. But I think a lot of people have to understand this, though. This is what happens with Twitch. It's happened with YouTube before. People kind of grew up in an era where instant gratification was a lot more accessible. So they're not really willing to be there for the growing pains of something, you know? I think, yes, on one hand, Rumble is growing slowly, but I'll be here for the long haul. I have no reason not to be. If you're already putting out content there, it's not about getting big or becoming a viral sensation. It's not about any of that. It's the fact that if Rumble does become big, you're not starting from scratch. Like a lot of other people are going to have to do when it becomes big. You have already been growing here, and then your content that you've been working on is going to get recommended to people because you've been doing it longer. You're already going to be basically in their algorithm if they even have one. The gaming side of it, you know, can use some work. I think the platform's stigma is that it's all political based. I think the owner has to try to get away from that. You can be political based, but try to get people to understand there's more slice of life stuff here. You know, he said he's Verizon. He wants to just sell you cell phones. Well, there's different kind of cell phones that Verizon sells. Verizon will sell you Apple phones because they just want to sell you a phone. You know, I'm pretty sure you heard recently they've had a hard time getting advertisers. That's why there's the premium thing because of the Dunkin' Donuts. They have to get rid of these right wing influencers like Alex Jones and Steven Crowder. This alcoholic wine company was like, yeah, platform's too right wing. There's Democrats on there, but whatever, I guess. You know,
definitely the omni liberal is on there. Or he was. I actually haven't seen his stuff in a while. I can't stand that guy, but he was creating on there. He was featured a few times on Rumble for a while. Yeah.
Nick Fuentes is on there. That guy doesn't even like Jewish people.
No, he absolutely despises Jewish people.
Like if that's not the most like left, like you're allowed to say whatever the hell you want on a platform. Look at that guy. That Nico's on there, you know? And then Fresh and Fit's on there. There's a lot of people where he doesn't care about your political views or anything. I think he himself is more like conservative, but he doesn't care. Go on the platform, make a platform for yourself on there. But Rumble would have to get away from that stigma of politics because people just think, well, if I'm not doing political content, then I'm not going to grow. That's the common thing that most people are going to think. So I'll ask you, what are your like pros and cons with Rumble since you've been doing it for a little bit?
I got fortunate enough when I first started. I've been creating on Rumble since 2022, but I didn't start streaming until 23. And I got fortunate enough. It was the day after gaming was announced, or it was my second day streaming on Rumble. Gaming was announced as a push for Rumble, and this was in March of 23. And I got featured that night by Chris himself. He actually came in, said hi, Chris Rumble. For those, Chris Pavlovsky is his name, but he's Chris Rumble on X and all that. He's the CEO of Rumble. He came into my stream, said thank you for streaming on Rumble, threw some money in my way, and featured me on the homepage. So I got the fortune, and then I also was hanging out in the Rumble Discord when it was Rumble Discord is still there. It's no longer the official Rumble Discord. A lot of drama happened. A lot of people are complaining about favoritism. A lot of people are intentionally causing drama in there. So Rumble themselves pulled back, but left the Discord up and let the creators and viewers to use it as they see fit. that is what caused a lot of my growth. When I first started, I had only 7 followers, and now I'm up to 568. I think is what I'm at on my gaming channel. That's just on my gaming channel alone.
Yeah.
Um, I I had it easier than most creators will have it on Rumble now, but even then, my growth was still slow compared to some people's successes. Actually, I would people say that growth on Rumble is slower, but in my opinion, I think it's about average. And that's what this whole month of multi-streaming I'm doing is to see is Rumble worse, the same, or better than the other platforms. As of right now, Rumble compared to YouTube and Twitch is about equal as of right now. And I'm doing the same thing when I go live. I post on Twitch, I post on X, Truth, Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest every single time I go live for all my platforms. The links to all of them are down below. So I'm not like promoting one over the other. They're all equally being promoted, and they're all equal in growth as of right now. My viewership is better on Rumble. My follower growing is better on, or is equal, about equal on Twitch, YouTube, and Rumble. X is a joke, or sorry, Twitch or Kick is a joke. The only followers I've gotten on Kick since I've started doing this little test have been people trying to sell me graphic design, trying to sell me followers. Those are the only people that have been following me on Kick. But on Twitch, X, or Twitch, YouTube, and Rumble, it's been steady growth of people actually engaging with me and stream either in comments, with chat, and then they drop me the follows. I think technically Twitch is winning at 9 followers gained this month. YouTube and Rumble are at 8. So right now, so it's about the same. Now you can say I have the benefit that I've been on Rumble long enough. A lot of the other creators, I'm not gonna say all the gaming creators, but a lot of the other gaming creators know about me. So you can say that's probably why I'm doing as well as I am on Rumble. I do know there are people that are struggling to grow on Rumble. But at this point, I think when it comes to growth, Rumble is about on par with any other platform. If you don't get involved with communities, if you don't network or engage with other creators, you're not going to grow on Rumble at all. If you're just going to sit there and go live every day, you're not going to grow. You're going to have to post on your socials. You're going to have to network with other creators. You're going to have to get involved with different communities, and then you'll grow. But that's for every platform. That's not just Rumble. But if you're, because a lot of people that complain about growth on Rumble, I will go to their Twitters when I see them complaining about Rumble on Twitter. I will go to the Twitter. I don't see a single post about when they're going live at all, ever. I don't see a post about them posting a video. I just see them complaining about Rumble and then posting other people's stuff. And I was like, so is the growth your fault or is it Rumble's fault? In my opinion, it's your fault because you're not doing anything to promote yourself. I try to post every time I go live. I try to post every time I upload. I try to do little teasers before I go live or upload. If you look at my Twitter, for the longest time, it was overwhelmed with political stuff because I'm very invested in this election. So I'm getting very involved with political stuff, which has very little to do with my content. Lately, now that Rumble has made their Gaming on Rumble Twitter profile to help promote gamers more, I've been helping them promote that stuff. I'm not getting paid by Rumble to do this, by the way. I believe in Rumble the most because, in my opinion, the reason why I'm happier on Rumble, I can be myself on Rumble. I don't have to worry about walking on eggshells. I don't have to worry. I mean, obviously, people's feelings will still get hurt, but I don't have to worry about those people getting me removed from Rumble because of it. So that's why I promote Rumble the most personally. If you're in it for the money, I think the best thing you could do for yourself as a creator is multi-stream as much as you physically can. I know people's computers and internet limit them in that regard.
Yeah.
So make a schedule where you can post on each platform regularly. Make a schedule where you stream on one platform, upload the VOD to another. Do something to branch out your brand. If you're looking to make money, if you're looking to make it big, you're looking to get famous. If you are somebody like me that is probably considered a right-wing zealot by the left, Rumble is the go-to place. That's as simple as it can be. Even if you're not doing political content, I have one channel that does political content, and I post there the least on Rumble. My other 2 channels are about gaming and my hobbies, and those are the 2 I post the most on. And yes, if someone comes to my chat and talk about politics, I'm going to respond, but that's not the focus of the channel. So
The other thing that we could talk about is with people talking about promotion and favoritism, because we had the Rumble try out the smaller creator program. They ran
Mhm.
it twice, and I don't think they're gonna be running it anymore. I know the CEO
Chris
or
just
yeah,
Christian said he's looking to do it a third time, possibly with a lot more creators, not a little more, a lot more creators are supposed to be involved. And I
yeah.
think this time he's intending it to keep it in a long run thing. So that way people are more encouraged to stay on Rumble.
Yeah, because before it was a limited amount of spots. I think it was like 200 people or whatever, and people kept playing. Like they kept saying, "Well, I'm fully qualified. Why am I not being selected?" Because even myself, I didn't even get a response back the first time. The second time I
Yeah.
did, it was a no, but I was way more than qualified. I had enough followers, streams, everything you could imagine. So I didn't get picked, but I didn't go like, you know what? I didn't get picked. Now I just hate the platform, and now I just gotta quit it. It's like it is what it is. You just keep going. But most people go like, "Well, I picked over that guy." It's guys just random. This is just random, honestly. I imagine the person they just put names in a hat and just probably put it in a generator or something.
I think it's a little bit of random. I do think it's quite a bit of people that were known to the staff of Rumble.
Oh yeah,
Definitely
that would
got
definitely get you in. Yeah.
yeah, they definitely got priority pick. I'm not gonna act like Rumble didn't play favorites. They definitely did.
Oh yeah.
Another aspect for the second round, at least, I wasn't involved with the first round. The second round, I actually got selected for the first round. I had some real life things come up that I knew that I wasn't going to be able to meet the requirements to make sure I do the payout, because it was like you had to stream X amount of hours for 5 days a week or something like that. And I knew I couldn't do that because something real life came up.
Mhm.
So I ended up giving my position. I actually recommended a streamer to take my place, and they took them. So there is evidence that the staff does selectively pick people.
Mhm.
Um, uh, the second round that definitely happened, and I also think Chris wanted them to focus on bigger creators on other platforms, because there's a lot of Kick and Twitch creators that got pulled into that program on the second round, and those people end up burning Rumble in the long run.
Like
There was definitely
Tysonet and I Showed Speed. They used to have a show on Rumble. They don't even do it over
yeah.
there anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, they weren't part of the small creator program. They were signed on, but there was what the bigger, smaller creators in Twitch and Kick were brought over. There was a couple ill-intended Rumble creators that they got selected. I don't know if you heard of yeah, he's ill-intended. I don't know if you heard of the creator of Kobiax. He was in phase 2. And he spent the entire time during the phase 2 program harassing other Rumble creators, calling them Nazis, calling them Jew haters. Uh, that's all and then he would steal other people's content and stream it. You never saw his camera. You never heard his voice. You just saw everybody else's stuff. You saw he would go on his live stream, pop into somebody else. If you guys know Fat Steven on Rumble, and if you know the Tommy podcast, he would go into their channels and harass them nonstop, calling them Jew haters. And he was being paid by Rumble in the partner program. Luckily, now Rumble has taken action against him because he was stealing content. He wasn't streaming his own stuff. I mean, he would, but he hardly ever did. So Rumble, the phase 2 program, as I think, in my opinion, was the rockiest phase 2. And I think if Chris wants phase 3 to be better, one, it needs to run longer so people stay on Rumble. They don't take the money and run. They need to run it basically indefinitely, because the moment people got paid, they left. They
Oh, of
didn't
course
stay
you
to
would.
run.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was what, $500 is what I think
Five
they
hundred
were.
dollars to stream multi-stream. I think 30 days on Rumble or whatever,
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah. Because before
So,
the phase 1, if you remember, that was the one where it just had to be exclusively on Rumble. I think phase 2 they allowed you to do the multi-streaming actually.
no, phase 1 was multi-streaming. Phase 2 they limited it to just Rumble. So like
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, yeah.
There's one person on Rumble that was a Kick streamer, and he or she literally took their Kick streams and restreamed them on Rumble and got paid. So they didn't do a new stream for Rumble. They literally took an old stream of theirs on Kick,
Yeah.
uploaded and treated it as a stream, and they got paid for that. And so a lot of Rumble creators, like a lot of Rumble creators that actually were dedicated to Rumble, like, really, what the fuck? This guy literally took his old stream, restreamed it, and supposedly he got paid. I don't know if he actually got paid, but And then people like Kobe X was getting paid. And there was another person that literally was talking about how the only way you could make it on Rumble was to suck the dick of Rumble staff, and she got paid for it. Like, even the staff came out and said, we have paid you, so I don't know what you're complaining about. You were in the partner program, you got paid. Why are you complaining? And that's all she would do is complain. And I remember looking at her Twitter profile again. She had the same thumbnail for every stream, same thumbnail for every upload. She had a very generic title, and she never posted about her, like, the one of the requirements for the program was you were supposed to post when you were live on every of your social.
I remember that.
She never did that. She never did that. She reposted pictures of cars. She reposted pictures of other people's work. And Rumble's like, you know what? We're still going to pay you. And then she went around and started saying, the only way you can get popular on Rumble is if you suck the dick of Rumble staff. I was like, you literally just got paid $500 to do everything not what they told you to do.
I got $500. Oh my God. Whoo. No, books I could, you guys can see right there. You know how much stuff I could buy with that extra $500. Holy shit. I just pay half my rent right there.
Exactly. And there's a lot of creators that were more deserving of these people. So I will admit the phase 2 was an absolute shit show for Rumble. And that was the worst thing Rumble could have done. So I'm hoping if Chris does a phase 3, he takes all that into consideration. One, he needs it to be a longer running program so people don't just get paid and leave. 2, he actually needs to get people that are deserving it, not people like, hey, easy $500. Again, I'm going to do it, get paid, leave, talk shit about Rumble nonstop. And 4, he needs to make sure these are people that actually believe in Rumble. Now, I'm not saying you need to be a zealot for Rumble. I'm saying you're somebody that is committed to creating content on Rumble. Like, even if you're still streaming on YouTube or uploading your YouTube, if you're still streaming on Twitch, if you're still streaming on Kick, you need to say you need to be a creator that takes Rumble seriously, even though you're still doing those things. If you're a person that's like, Rumble's just an easy payout and I don't give a shit what happens to Rumble, Chris shouldn't be putting those people in the phase 3. They need to be people that are invested in Rumble. You don't need to suck up the Rumble. You don't need to kiss Rumble's ass. You just need to be someone that's invested in Rumble, that believes in Rumble. Even if you're non-political, you can be the least political person on Rumble. As long as you believe in what Rumble is and the purpose of Rumble, and you take Rumble as seriously as a platform, you should be on it in the program. And if you meet the requirements, whatever the requirements is, he decides this time around. So, like, somebody like you're still on YouTube, but you still support and believe in Rumble. So you should be somebody that is more than qualified to be in phase 3, because you're still active.
Even after I lost my big YouTube channel, I just put an entire, to be fair, the Iron Man podcast is mostly exclusive on Rumble. I only put the last 100 episodes on YouTube. There's 499 episodes on there, and all the content that I upload on YouTube, when I get enough free time, I got to download the rest of the content that I'm behind on uploading to Rumble. I'll put it on there. I've just been busy having a chance to download each video, upload it there, but I'm putting all the episodes of the Cloud9 podcast on there from scratch. I'm currently on season 7 right now. I'm putting up there because we're at season 13 now, so holy shit, got to put all those episodes still up there. But I realized, hey, gotta be on YouTube, because if you're not really on YouTube, most people, you just don't exist. So I was like, you know what, I'll stop this podcast where it's at and sync it up everywhere, with people right now, because I believe in Rumble, and Rumble, people gotta understand, has that old YouTube system of like, hey, if you can actually get paid on there.
Yeah.
Like and it's lower threshold too, because YouTube's is like $100 for their threshold. Rumble's is even lower. It's $50, honestly.
Yep.
I think they need to do better, not with payment structure. They need to make it so YouTube pays you out. I used to get paid on YouTube. They pay you out on the 21st every month. You get paid once a month. And Rumble, there's not really a consistency on when your account's money gets updated. It took my account, man, it was months. Like, I can't remember how long, maybe like almost a year, 9 months to my account got actually updated again. They did it recently on the 19th of last month. So I hope there's much more of a consistency in updating people's accounts if they're actually doing content consistently. I know I'm not the only person that's gone through that, because my other guy that I stream with on Sundays, Professor Savage Dad, he's at that too, where sometimes his account hasn't even been updated on how much money it's earning. Even if it's like 5 cents, $1, something,
The couple things that Rumble absolutely needs to fix. Again, I've been called a Rumble cuck, a Rumble fanboy, all the worst names you can be called for Rumble. but I will admit Rumble needs to work on the customer support. That
Yeah.
absolutely needs it needs to be fixed. I know one of the people. I don't know him personally. I know who he is. I know one of the people that's on like one of the head positions of the team for support. I do know if it's in the Rumble frequently asked questions on their website, their help website, and if they know it's in there and they know you didn't look it up, they're not going to help you. It's not right from a customer service aspect. That's the wrong way to go about it.
Oh,
But
for
I understand.
sure. Yeah.
I understand what he's getting at though. If it's a question that is posted somewhere for you could just look it up and it's there to get you your answer, but you're refusing to do that. Because in the military, I have more leeway to do that. I have more leeway when somebody is asking me what we call a stupid question. I don't have to answer it because I know you're asking a stupid question, but I'm not trying to make money. I'm trying to get a job done. Rumble's trying to make money, so they can't have that aspect of, as much as I love that they have that, but I'm not everybody feels the same way as me. Everybody, like, if I ask you a question, I want to answer it. At most, Rumble should respond with, please check the FAQ. And if you still can't find your solution, reach out to us. That's at minimum Rumble should do. And it make it an automated question. Like, did you check the FAQ? Or automatic response. Did you check the FAQ? And the person responds, yes, I did. Did not find what I needed. This is the issue. And another issue that Rumble does run into a lot when people talk about complaints that they have with Rumble, they're not specific. They don't give any details. They just say, my stream won't work. Okay, why does your stream not work? It just doesn't work. Okay, what have you done? Like, what is not working? Is it laggy? Does it just not work at all? Is the audio broken? What is broken about your stream? Or like payments. I'm not getting paid. How much money have you earned? $13. That's below the $50 threshold. We can't pay you until you get to your hit the $50. Or I'm above the $50 threshold. I'm not getting paid. Did you link your PayPal, you asked for check? No, I didn't. Well, we can't pay you until you give us your check account or your PayPal account. So we can't just magically send you money if we don't have a place to send the money to. Again, Rumble does still make mistakes. So I'm not saying but they do deal with a lot of people that are very vague, a lot of their issues are self-induced issues. One person was complaining about Rumble won't pay him. Well, he's been stealing movies and music, and that's all he streams is movies and music. Well, Rumble's like, we can't pay you for that. You're not just taking other creators' content. You're literally you're streaming a 3-hour movie on your platform and expecting to get paid for it. We can't do that. That's illegal. Like, Rumble will get in legal trouble if like MGM or Disney or any of the Fox studios, if they find out that this person's doing it and Rumble's paying him, Rumble's going to get into legal trouble. And Rumble's already getting in enough legal trouble as is. They don't need any more.
Yeah.
So but Rumble is still not perfect. Rumble needs to fix the payment process. I did see one of the Rumble staff members post on X, I believe it was this week, saying they finally got the payment process dialed in. It's probably going to take 3 months for people to realize it's been corrected. So when he said dial in, he means that payments should happen. Like you said, was it YouTube the 21st you got paid basically?
Yeah, 21st you get paid. Yep.
So when he said dialed in, I think he means something along that lines too, that the same day every month, if you're above the $50 threshold, you're getting paid.
Yes.
So,
or at least the account updated, because you know me, I wouldn't lie, man. I would literally check the account and nothing. I would have no updates on nothing. I'm like, what is going on here? Is there a glitch or a bug? To be fair, there were probably a lot of other problems they were having going out to at the same time, advertisers and right-wing influencers,
Yeah.
The other thing I think they could improve on potentially is their layout needs a little bit more improvement on. Not the homepage. I'm talking about like they have these little rectangular square boxes for categories. I think that could be improved on. I think that's a little too basic now. They need to be a little bit more expansive. Yeah. The update was fine. It's better than what it was before. I remember what it looked like before.
Better than what it was before.
But it needs to be a little bit more like, okay, featured people is fine. But but you see like some other places on the platform are just completely dead on some points, like arts and crafts and all those other places. But to be fair, like I mentioned before, if people want Rumble to get bigger and to be where YouTube is at, people have to go and make the content there to exist. It's not just going to exist there without people doing it there, Like you said before, there's people multi-streaming now, so you can So it's not like you have to make new content. You're doing it already initially up front. You're not making something completely new from scratch, unless you just want to stream exclusively there, and that's your own prerogative. The gaming on Rumble Twitter account is there, which is good. I think they need to make another few more. They need to make one more for sure for like movies and television, because there's a big community on Rumble for movies and television. I just want to hear information on that. I think make one for that. I think potentially you might want to make one for a few other bigger niches out there that people want. Gaming's a big one, but I would say do one for movie and TV. That's another big one that needs to be there, because imagine going to Rumble for movie and TV content and you're just like, okay, well, I guess I'm just getting shoved down with Nick Fuentes content.
Yeah, Steven Crowder. I love Dan Bongino, but yeah, that's all you see when you go in there. I love Russell Brand, but again, now Chris has this weekend after Silver Fox's little video he did. Chris says on weekends he wants gaming to be the focus. That's fantastic for gaming. It's absolutely one of the good answers that Chris could say about gaming, because gaming obviously is going to happen a lot more on the weekends. Because people like that have jobs, they can't commit a whole work week to gaming, but on weekends, that's where they're going to do a lot of their content, is on the weekends, weeknights. So that's a step in the right direction. But like you said, gaming and politics are not the only thing on Rumble. There's arts and crafts, there's how-tos, there's reviews, there's vlogs, there's homesteading, there's a bunch of other stuff. Now, Rumble can't obviously make a special thing for every single little, like I do astrophotography on one of my channels. Rumble can't make an astrophotography Twitter. That's a waste of their time and resources. Astrophotography, even on YouTube, is small in comparison to everything else. A lot of people don't even know astrophotography exists on YouTube, but it is there. It does exist. It does have a decent following, but it's not enough for YouTube to commit resources to make sure the content grows. That is going to be on the content creator. I think a lot of creators, again, Rumble does have an ownership to make sure certain content is promoted better on their platform. Like the Super Bowl ads in the past, if you watch it, it's a lot of Dan Bongino, it's a lot of Crowder, it's a lot of Russell Brand. So if they're going to do outside marketing on that, they need to include the gaming. They need to include the arts and crafts. They need to include the how-to vlogs, the cooking vlogs. A lot of the things people like to do on YouTube is like they'll do a cooking channel and they're cooking on stream. Life stuff.
Yeah, like gardening, fixing up your motorcycle, like you fix up your car, something like that, hunting, anything. Yeah.
I think the best way Rumble could do an advertisement for that is like literally like start off with Dan Bongino, but then he's like 2 seconds of the whole ad. The rest is gaming. The rest is how to automotive. The rest is lifestyle. The rest is arts and crafts. So people are like, okay, politics is still there. Obviously, Dan Bongino and Steven Crowder still exist. So Rumble won't cancel me if I say this. But if I want to do gaming, if I want to do arts and crafts, if I want to do lifestyle, I can do that because Rumble is there. Rumble doesn't need to make a Twitter account for every single category, and that's a lot of things a lot of people fail to understand, both creators and viewers. Amazon has thousands of employees. Rumble has like a couple hundred. So Amazon, when it comes to Twitch, Google has thousands of employees. So Twitch and YouTube are able to cope with things easier because they have a bigger employee base. Now, does that mean Rumble is excused from all criticism? Absolutely not. You're still allowed to criticize them. You're still like, all right, again, you just made your 100,000 posts about Dan Bongino, but I have not seen anything else. Every now and then, Power Slap will creep in. Well, I think Power Slap is cool. I think it's a little funny, a little cheesy. One of the other channels I like is Major League Fishing. I found that recently. I found it by accident. I didn't find it because Rumble promoted it. I found it because I happened to log on and there it was. So I checked it out. Great. That means the algorithm is working better. Rumble does have an algorithm now. It's still in the early stages. It's still learning. But if it wasn't for the algorithm, I would have never found out about Major League Fishing. I didn't see Major League Fishing because of an ad on Rumble. I didn't see Major League Fishing because Rumble promoted it on the Rumble Twitch or Twitter page. I saw it because I logged in and it just happened to be right there. That's the only reason why I saw it. And that's a problem because, again, whenever you see Chris or Rumble tweet, it's about Dan Bongino. It's about Crowder. It's about the quartering, which quartering, he's a little bit politics, a little bit pop culture.
Yeah.
He's a mix. He's not a good mix, but he's a mix.
Yeah. You're basically saying that if people he could basically expose other people to smaller content creators. Yeah, you're right. He himself could do that. But the thing, he has the embedded investment interest in those guys being the best because of, viewership and everything. That's the problem. And then the other point to that I'll add is if he reposts a smaller person and then a bunch of people go watch that guy and they don't like him because their quality of their content is not up to the par of the other people you just mentioned, it's also be a problem too, because people understand, even if you get that push from some of them, like let's say one of the lead editors retweets you, or the owner of Rumble does it. If those people come into your stream and you're not producing anything of worthwhile of value for them,
that's a key.
Yeah, like imagine people, because people always tell people, if you do get that chance, what are you going to do to keep them? They're like, oh, I would just do the same thing. I guess. So if the same thing you're doing right now can barely attract people, then when you get that big boost that one day you do, I hope that's enough to keep them. People have low qualities for standards of content these days, so maybe, it's possible.
I've been, this is not me bragging. This is just to provide a example to your point. I've been promoted on Rumble 3 times. The first time I had over 109,000 views, and I grew only by 40 viewers or 40 followers. The next time I had about 30,000. I had another time that was 75,000, but I barely grew. And that's so that whenever people complain like, well, Rumble only promotes these people. Well, Rumble should probably only promote these people because of the people pulling in the numbers. And that sounds pathetic, but Rumble is a business at the end of the day. They have shareholders. They got to make money. They're not getting advertisers. So if they're not getting the advertisers, they can't just promote everybody and anybody. They got to promote people that have the content. So when I did not grow well after being promoted, I wasn't thinking this is Rumble's fault. Rumble didn't make me grow well. No, it's my fault because my content isn't on par with everybody else yet. I need to do something. I need to make my content stand out as unique and different from everybody else. 2, I need to make it entertaining. And 3, I need something that can generate retention. If I can't do that, Rumble can put me on their front page every day, single day for every time I stream. But if my content is not on that level, I'm not going to maintain those viewers. I'm not going to get the followers. I'm not going to get the likes. I'm not going to get the chatters. Not going to get the comments. So people think that if I don't get these features, I'm never going to grow. That is both true and untrue at the same time, because you can get features all day, but if your content, you're not putting any, that's why I go back to people promoting their stuff. If you're not doing anything creative to promote your stuff, nobody's going to find you. Nobody's going to know who you are. They're going to see your stream, forget who you are the moment they click off your stream because you weren't rememberable for one reason or another. I'm not telling you to be fake. I'm not telling you to lie. I'm not telling you to cheat. I'm telling you to find something about you that's unique and different that 1, people can relate to, and 2, that can stand out. Like, I remember that guy. He's the guy that did this. I'm going to drop him a follow. I want to come back. Because the people that fall into the follow for follow traps, you're not going to grow.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody would. Every time somebody follows me for a follow for follow, immediately they never come back. They just came there because they wanted that follow so they can get in the partner program, so they can get monetized, so they can get ad revenue. They didn't care about me as a creator. They cared about me as a number. I'm another number to get in the Twitch affiliate program. I'm another number to get in the Twitch partner program. They didn't give 2 shits about my content. They will never promote me again. They'll never talk about me again. They'll never pop in my stream. Yeah. And that's the same lines of being promoted on Rumble. Rumble can have you front and center, the biggest screen.
They're going to be right next to Steven Crowder some days. Won't matter unless you're actually providing some sort of value to people. Yeah.
And then because they failed, they're gonna be like, that's Rumble favoritism. No, the hard truth is you suck as a content creator. You need to find a way to do better. I do my astrophotography streams. They're literally, I'm not gonna lie, they're like watching paint dry. If you don't absolutely love outer space, it's literally a still picture of a galaxy. And it sits in the same spot the entire time for 3 hours. If I don't do something to make that entertaining, people are going to look at that as like, oh, that's neat. And then they're going to leave. So I've done things like adding different music to kind of entertain people. Like it'll be like a relaxing stream for you to unwind to, You might be able to see a shooting star streak across the sky. I might capture a satellite. Who knows? You don't know. I can never predict that kind of thing. So, and then I started adding trivia to my streams. I'm trying to make my streams more interesting because nobody's going to want to just sit there and stare at one thing for 3 hours. They're going to want something to interact with. So I'm trying to find ways to make that stream more interactive. People are like, I'm going to do the same thing every single day. This is going to be me playing my game.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, chat.
Hello.
Are you guys there? How's your day? And that's what you're doing. Nobody's going to stick around in your stream. You need to make it entertaining. I literally watched a guy that was complaining about not growing on Rumble. So I went to go check out his stream. He's doing this. You're falling asleep on your own stream. That's how boring you are. Do something to be more entertaining. I'm not perfect. I'm far from perfect. So I'm talking to myself as much as any other creator out there.
Yeah.
Because I'll come home from work with a bad day at work. I'm just like, sup, chat? My day sucked.
Yeah. And then you'll be mad because Arkham Origins didn't have a remaster. Crazy, right? Yeah. You know what's crazy about that, man, is that I saw you were playing Arkham Origins. Arkham Origins is just treated as this like bastard stepchild because Arkham Warner Brothers released this DC massive like Batman Arkham trilogy omnibus, and then the headline says based off the hit Arkham trilogy. They do everything in their power to ignore Arkham Origins. It's not even that. Rocksteady Park goes, oh, we didn't make it, so it's bad. It's not bad. It's a fine game. It has its problems. It definitely has a lot of. It has some major flaws, but it's not like a piece of shit. You know, it's fine. But to them, because they didn't make it, they don't count it. And it's like, I hate you people. I hate it.
I've actually the only other I've done, I beat Arkham Knight, and I've started Arkham Asylum or City. I don't remember which one I started. I remember I fought Killer Croc. That was the first thing I did. It wasn't Origins because I know you fight Killer Croc early in Origins, but it was another one in the series. You fought Killer Croc fairly early. I think it was in their prison, inside the prison. So I can't remember if it was Asylum or City. I started that one. Then I was like, you know what? I'm not. So first of all, for anybody watching, I'm not an avid Batman fan to the point where I can cite everything about the comics. I can tell you about every movie, every TV show ever.
Like casual, essentially.
Yeah, I'm a basic bitch to Batman. I like Batman. I think he's cool. I enjoy Batman. So I was like, I really, because I've been dying for an Iron Man game. Iron Man's one of my favorite Marvel characters. And I've been dying for a really good Iron Man game, but nobody's done anything. The closest, like, what was it?
We heard the rumors that they were going to be doing one. Yeah, the EA one. But let's be honest, AAA gaming now coming out with an Iron Man game. Oh my God. Pepper Potts is going to be fucking a Asian mixed black woman who's a La Huisha with braids or no hair. Oh my God, twerking up a storm. Yeah, I want their version of Iron Man. No, God, she's the Iron Man, actually.
I would rather a third indie party company make Iron Man at this point than a AAA company, to be honest. Absolutely. Yeah. And honestly, we're at the point in AAA gaming that when somebody remasters a game, they're probably going to do something stupid to ruin it.
Oh, yeah. Taking out dialogue, scenes, any of that shit. Yeah.
Replacing characters, like you said, with another gender, with another race. Like I loved the first Black Panther movie. I thought it was fun. It was entertaining. I loved it. Black Panther in Civil War. I was sad when he died, in real life. Chadwick Boseman. And after he died, I was sad when he died. I thought he was a great actor. Had no problem with Black Panther, but Black Panther was supposed to be black. That was his purpose. We didn't make Iron Man black. We didn't make Captain America black. It was a black character. And if they're like, well, there's not a lot of black characters in comic books, make a new one. I loved the first Into the Spider-Verse. That was one of my favorite Spider-Man movies. And that is Miles Morales, who's supposed to be black. Everybody's like, you're racist. You just hate black people, or you're sexist. You hate girls. I was like, no, I want to
imagine a sexist person being married. That's crazy.
Yeah.
These people don't even have logic anymore. You're sexist. I'm married. Well, you're a self-hating married. What the fuck?
Well, what was that comedian that was in The Mandalorian? They accused him of being racist. He goes, I'm married to a black woman. Well, you're projecting your white desire to own slaves. She's a successful black woman. How's that a slave? It's like,
Oh God.
do you guys hear you hear yourselves think?
I don't think they do. They just sprouting buzzwords. They just talking in coded speech, as they say. There's no logic behind it. They're just talking out their ass, honestly. So the other thing I'll ask you, the last few things. The first thing is you're a Rumble Premium member, right? So like on
Yes.
Twitter, do you know how if you make a post and it goes viral or did semi decent because of your blue check mark, you might get pushed a little bit more? Does that apply for the Rumble Premium thing?
No, so one of the reasons why Chris was avoiding an algorithm for a while is because he didn't want people to abuse it. He wanted people to grow naturally, but the call for an algorithm was too strong, so they eventually started making an algorithm, and they wanted to avoid a situation while YouTube where the algorithm just gets broken and only people of certain content were getting promoted where everybody else was throwing the dust. It's the same thing with premium. Chris doesn't want people to. They don't want pay to win. Chris doesn't want pay to win. At least I hope that's the case. He's never come out and say that. The only benefits I paid for Rumble Premium back in April of last year. And I did it because I believed in Rumble. I wanted to give them the money, and the $10 a month, it was the best way I can do that. Actually, you know what? That's not true. March is when I became a premium user. I use Rumble Premium because at that point, the only way you can stream is if you had above a certain amount of followers on Rumble, or you had to be a premium user. So I bought premium so I can stream. And that's why, and I just kept it ever since. Now it's if you don't want to do you can stream with 0 followers as long as you verify your account. You prove you're not a bot. And that's like, I can't remember. I want to say it's by a text message, I think is how they do it.
If you black and gay Godzilla.
Oh
God.
Godzilla minus one of my favorite Godzilla movies. I'm not gonna lie.
I haven't seen that yet. People have praised it so much. Is it on digital? It should be on digital. I don't even care if I can watch it in subtitles. I'll watch it subtitles. I don't care.
I got it on digital. That's I want to get a physical copy. That's how much I love it. To me, if you really support a movie or a game or a song or music, you buy the physical. That's just me. Because eventually the conspiracy theory time. Eventually, somebody's going to be able to manipulate that digitally. A perfect example, my brother's a huge Office fan. Diversity Day has been removed from the Apple Play Store, from the Apple iTunes version of The Office, because they're like, that's too controversial. So they took the whole episode out. So if I'm going to support something, I'm going to buy the physical copy. Anyway, but yeah, Godzilla minus one is really good. You just got to have one, you got to be awake. 2, you got to have the mental fortitude to be able to read subtitles and still watch what's happening. It's one of my favorite Japanese movies because even though it is in Japanese and it has subtitles, they do it in a way I can easily read. I'm very slow. I'm very simple. They do it in the way I can read the subtitles, and I did not miss what happened on the screen. I know even my wife, she hates our subtitled movies because she feels like when she reads, she misses what's happening. She was able to read the text and still know what was happening in the movie. So I highly recommend it, especially if you're a newbie into Japanese film, whether it's anime or live action. It's a great gateway movie into that because it allows you, you'll start picking up. I mean, it was easier for me to pick it up because I lived in Japan for 3 years. So I knew when certain words are spoken.
Rap lingo.
Yeah. I can understand it better, but it's a great gateway movie if you're wanting to get into Japanese. Because right now, in my opinion, the best storytellers in cinema is Japanese right now. And it's whether it's anime or a live action, because they know how to tell a story still. They haven't been affected by the woke stuff. They haven't been diverted and diluted by that stuff. They have a story they want to tell, and they're going to tell it. But again, my wife, who has had no Japanese experience before me, she watched that movie, knew exactly everything that was going on, and she loved it. She actually loved it. And she's not even a monster flick kind of girl. She's not into that stuff.
She's more of the It Ends With Us chick flick watching. Oh no.
Crazy. Yeah. She is definitely a chick flick kind of woman.
I love chick flicks too. I'll watch them. I love it. I love all types of movies.
I do too. If it can make me laugh, it can put me on the edge of my seat, or tell me a good story that keeps me entertained, it's a good movie. I don't care what kind of movie it is.
Yeah, the worst ones is the offenders. Is like people who watch like what is deemed a kids movie, and then they'll be like, "Well, it's a kids movie." I don't give a fuck. Was it good?
Yep.
Was it what? Just because it's a kids movie does not automatically mean it's like what less entertainment. Was it did you enjoy your experience? Oh my god, those might be the worst people to talk to. Well, it's for kids, so yeah, it doesn't mean anything. Was it good? Would you
Was it
tell people to watch
entertaining?
it?
Did you
Yeah.
enjoy it? One of my favorite modern movies is Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. That has been one of my favorite modern movies.
Oh yeah, okay.
It has a good
I
story.
remember when it was coming out. I saw all the Shrek movies except Shrek 3, but I didn't think that would be that good. I'm not that interested in Puss in Boots.
No, and that's because I haven't seen the first Puss in Boots or the first Puss in Boots, and everybody kept talking about this one. I was like, I'm gonna watch it. It is one of my favorite DreamWorks movies. Now, my favorite DreamWorks trilogy is How to Train Your Dragon. And again, everybody's like, those are kids' movies. You know what? They might be, but I enjoyed them, and I'm not afraid to admit that.
Yeah. Pretty sure you're not going to be happy with the live action remake of them basically not even casting. Remember they cast a black girl as like some Norway. It's like, okay, well, why can't? Because that's the thing with Hollywood. You notice that if an animated movie outperforms their precious live action anything, they have to just remake it because they can't stand that an animated project for kids outperforms their prestigious art live action movies. Fun fact for people: a good amount of the top 10 highest grossing movies ever are animated. So it doesn't really matter if it's animated. I don't care if it's made from fucking, I don't know, Nick Fuentes' ass. Was it good? Like, what the hell?
Does it tell a good story? Is it entertaining?
Some of my favorite animated movies are animated. Yeah. Toy Story, the entire trilogy. Not that fourth one. That one was a bit terrible.
Yeah, the fourth one was garbage.
But the last few things I'll ask you, since we had a great conversation here. First one is, do you have anything planned coming up in 2024, going into 2025 that you want to let the audience know about?
For content wise, I'm hoping it's not going to be till late 2025. I'm going to keep what I'm doing for now. I'm doing okay. First of all, I'm doing what's called Project Orion. I'm taking an old pop-up camper and I'm converting it into a mobile observatory so I can take my telescope and my imaging equipment to anywhere in the country for two reasons. One, if somebody is in the area and they want to come watch me take pictures of nebulas or galaxies or comets or planets, they can come out and come see it live in person and see that stuff. And two, I'm in the city, so I got a lot of light pollution. I want to be able to take my stuff out to a area with no lights at all and take these pictures and get these immaculate pictures. So that Project Orion, I'm doing that. I'm on I did episode 3 on Aircon TV Hobbies on Rumble. Episode 4 is currently in work right now. So basically these episodes are me building the trailer, and the goal is hopefully by the time November 2025 this trailer will be done, and I'll do my first trip with it, and I will post about it like a month in advance. Say, hey, I'm going to be in this area on this day at this time, and I'm going to be staying up all night taking pictures of this thing. If you guys want to come out, and if you like rustic camping, because I'm going to tell you where I'm going to go. There's going to be no power. There's going to be no no water. There's going to be no plumbing. So if you are okay with that and able to do it for a weekend, come out and join me. If you want to just come out for that night, see me do it and leave, that's what I'm hoping to do by this time next year. And the reason why I'm saying next year is I will be retired from the military by November of next year. So yeah. So that way I can commit more time to my content. I'm looking to hope to have one of my podcasts is called Let's Grab a Beer. I'm hoping to have beer glasses made for that podcast so people can purchase them. And for those who don't know, Let's Grab a Beer is a podcast where I talk about things that I'm happy about, things that I'm upset about. They're called gripes, mids, and complaints. So gripes are things I'm obviously upset about. Mids are things it doesn't matter, I'm not happy or upset about. And hypes are things that I'm excited about. I talk about that for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. After I'm done talking about that stuff, at the end of that, I invite anybody that's in my audience to join me, and they can, like, with StreamYards. I use Rumble Studios, but when Rumble Studios, I'll send out the link. Up to 9 people can join me, and we can talk about either what I just talked about in the stream, or you can talk about anything you want to talk about. And it can be the most off-topic thing in the world. If you want to talk about it, we'll talk about it. I'm going to have a beer. I'm going to be drinking said beer. I'm probably going to be tipsy by the time that happens. So I recommend bring your favorite beverage. It doesn't have to be alcoholic. Just bring your favorite beverage, and we'll just chill and chat. So those are the two main projects for 2025 that I've been working on in 2024. So obviously I want to grow my gaming channel, but gaming is there because I love games. I love like the story of really good games with really good stories. I love those kind of games. I will play games. I love doing multiplayer games, but it has to be multiplayer games where I can hang out with friends and we don't take it seriously. We're joking, we're laughing, we're making fun of each other, doing stupid shit to make people eat each other laugh. So that's the kind of stuff I'm trying to get into in 2025.
Yeah, man. It would be great to have you on some of the panel shows that we do. Actually, whenever you have the free time, I'll have to check the messages see when you're free. We'd love to have you on the panel shows and talk to some of the other people we have here. They would love to have a conversation with you.
Well, I mean, if that's the case, so what I told, so I was on I was gonna say vermouth, but that's what it sounds like. But it was I was on Darmouth. I was on his podcast last week. Same thing I told him. I'm more than happy to come back. You have to just give me more than a week's notice, or at least a week's notice. And the only reason why I'm saying is one of the things I try to tell everybody, my wife, so I'm a Christian, first of all, so obviously my religion comes first. My family comes second. So in this case, it's gonna be my wife. And then third thing is my country. And then after that is everything else. So if you guys, and the reason why the country is still a prominent thing, I'm still active duty military. Obviously, if you see the world on fire, I'm probably not going to be available to do stuff outside of what's going on. So if you watch the news, if you guys want to get me on stuff like this, watch the news. If you see the world's on fire, you're like, Conda's probably not available because he's probably busy trying to make sure the world doesn't explode. If the world is not on fire, next question is he doing something with his family? So just hit me up and say, hey, I want you on my show, or I want to play a game with you. First person shooters are very rare that I play, just to let you know. I've gotten old. I've gotten very bad at first person shooters, but at the same time, I'm very competitive. So I get angrier a lot faster, and I don't like getting angry. So I try to avoid first person shooters. So Battlefield 2042 and Fortnite, and the only two Fortnite not so much. Halo, I'll still play Halo as long as it's like a Halo custom game, where it's a bunch of friends getting together just playing a game. But if for podcasts or or a panel, if you let me know like a week in advance, I can let you know when I'm free. And I can tell you like, hey, these are the days and times. And it's not because I don't want to do things with you guys. I'm not going to risk my professional or my family life. Yeah. And I know you understand, but there are some people that unfortunately don't understand. I've had people kick back at me. You just don't want to do it with me. No, I have my priorities. I'm not going to break my priorities. So
yeah. And very last thing is, do you have any shout outs you want to get to anyone in particular, and any closing thoughts or statements you want to bring up before we end the show?
I've talked about myself enough. The only major shout out I want to do is something I didn't mention in this one. Every year, this year I'm not doing as much, but I'm still a part of it. I do a charity event for the entire year where I raise money for a veteran organization called StackUp.org, which its sole goal is put an end to active duty and veteran suicide. For the longest time, suicide amongst military members, whether they're active duty or retired or separated, is 22 people a day take their own life. So I do a charity event every single year. It's through StackUp.org. It's always in my description. So all you have to do, if you see me live or you go to one of my past videos, just look in the description, look for something for StackUp.org. If you don't see StackUp.org, just go to the Linktree link and you'll see a link to StackUp.org. Their goal is to put an end to veteran and military suicide. And it's not just for the US. They do it for Canada. They do it for the UK. They do it for Australia. And they're starting to do it from France and Germany too. So if you're not from the US and you want to help veterans, there's your chance to do it. They do it through their motto is, we are putting an end to veteran suicide through nerd, geek, and gaming culture. So if you like Comic-Con and you served in the military at one point or another in your life, they try to get programs where they can fly you out to a Comic-Con and you can hopefully, maybe if they get enough money, they'll send you to a VIP. And the goal is to get these people to meet other people who share the same interests, who are also suffering in the same way that they are, to let them know they are not alone. And also, they're not the only one that love these things. They can meet other people that love anime, that people who love comic books, love tabletop gaming, love video games, and they'll bring you all together, and you can talk about things you're suffering through or just things you love, and with the goal to hopefully that you'll be like, hey, life's worth living. I don't need to give up on life. So if you guys I actually, if somebody donates to Stack Up and they never rant or subscribe or anything like that to me, I'm just as happy. Even if it's $1, I'm just happy if you do that stuff. So
Awesome. It was great talking to you, man. Great to have you here for the first time. Can't wait to do this again, or at some point panel show when you get the notice in advance, and hopefully you can save the country from exploding. Because after watching Kamala Harris's interview on Fox, I'm pretty sure she's gonna be losing quite consistently. It was great.
yes,
I just don't understand why he interrupted her as much. If someone's gonna give you that much to hang themselves, let them do it.
just let them do it.
Yeah, tell me
Just
more.
kind of like what Trump did with Biden during the last debate. He didn't interrupt Biden. He just let Biden hang himself. And
so I just want to say, everyone, thank you guys for checking out this episode of the MSK show, and we will see you guys in the next one. Have a great night, everybody.